It is 6:05. It's October 6th. Glad you're with us for Arch City Now. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Welcome back to what's the start of the work week for many. It's a Monday. Well into the month of October right now. Highlights from the weekend. Things of that nature, let us know. We're on X. We're on YouTube. You can catch us on Facebook. Here, taking your information, your calls, anything that you want to talk about when it comes to St. Louis. All right. We're here, as you know, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. We begin the rollout. Hot Take Central 2.0 follows us from 8 to 10 o'clock. That is Cam Jansen, the former Blue, and Jim the Cat Hayes, the Cardinals broadcaster. Don't know if you guys were looking up into the sky, but the supermoon is here. If you check out the supermoon, we'll tell you about that. It's a huge, huge moon now, very close to Earth. If you believe in those full moons and weird stuff happening, it's close. So if crazy stuff starts to happen, it's here. So anyway, if anything wild happened from the weekend, anything going on now, let us know. Any events to kickstart, to talk about, to promote. We want to do that as well. A lot coming up on the show today. Lots of NFL to talk about. St. Louis City SC's found their groove. They're looking good. The Blues start their season this week. Mizzou football back at home this week. Found the point spread against Alabama to be very interesting. Very interesting. I think Tiger fans may like to see what that point spread is. I've got a feeling you will. We'll get into that. You've got, like, Lindenwood had a great weekend with their football team. We've also got different news from a political standpoint that are going on. Anything else that you guys want to talk about, jump in. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show, making sure that people know what we've got going on as well. You know, we're here Monday through Friday doing everything we can when it comes to promoting St. Louis. All St. Louis, all the time. And we've also got the Kansas City Chiefs coming into play tonight. Monday Night Football. I mean, I'll call it a must-win for the Chiefs. I will. Other people may not, but I'll call it that. They have a difficult schedule coming up as well. They're at Jacksonville. And when they come to Jacksonville, let's just put it this way. The Chiefs right now sit 2-2. The Jags are 1-1. Guess who the Chiefs have next week? They've got the Lions. The Lions coming to Arrowhead next Sunday night. That's a big deal. And you don't want to see the Chiefs in a situation. They've come back home for 2 games now. Actually, they got 3 straight games at home. They've got the Lions, the Raiders, and then the Commanders. And the Commanders have their quarterback back in Daniels, and they certainly look like they could be tough. Literally, okay, here's what the Chiefs have. And there's a lot of Chiefs fans throughout the St. Louis area. They host the Lions, the Raiders, the Commanders, and then they go on the road to the Bills. And I don't care what happened to the Bills last night. The Bills are still going to be a tough out in Buffalo. I mean, that's what the Chiefs' schedule is. That's tough. That's tough. And the Raiders always play them well. We know that. And then the Chiefs, after that, go to the Broncos, and then they host the Colts. I mean, tonight, I won't say it, but I'll say it. It's a must-win for the Chiefs as they go to Jacksonville. So we can talk about that as well. You can jump in on your NFL side of things. Lots of people have different likes and teams of favorites in the St. Louis area since we don't have our own. Feel free to shout out your teams, all good, all the time, as we keep it going. You guys, let us know what you want to talk about. Anything else that we may be missing, we'll certainly talk about that. Giving you some of the ideas there. We'll talk about a story with the St. Louis Post-Dispatch officially going public with ending all print, going digital the first week of November. Temperatures are cooling a little bit after a very warm weekend. We'll talk about that. Major League Baseball playoffs are in full swing. Our Are you surprised with some of the things that are happening? Yeah, I'm kind of like, the local Fox put out an article too from a few years ago. ABC Quality Moving and Storage put out I guess what you would call a rough guide for what constitutes North St. Louis County, South St. Louis County, West St. Louis County, and Mid St. Louis County. So we'll tell you how they say it's divided by highways, because there's a lot of people who get into that stuff in regards to, well, is that North County? Is that Mid County? Is that considered West County? Whatever towns? That would be interesting. Would you consider Maryland Heights to be West County?
I don't know. I just say the name.
I know that it's a fun one to talk about. We'll see. We'll get into that.
It's close. I don't
know. Yeah, I'm just. It's fun to talk about. Whatever else comes up, you guys just let us know. We're here. We're Arch City now. Like, subscribe, share the show. That's producer Rye, who you just heard. As we continue to get into that. How about Mark Sanchez over the weekend too? The former NFL quarterback, NFL announcer, gets stabbed, is at the hospital, then police come and arrest him. Oh, and then we find out his Uber Eats guy showed all of his marks. Allegedly, Sanchez was beating him, and the guy stabbed him out of self-defense. I mean, what a wild, crazy story from that standpoint. With an NFL broadcaster and, of course, former quarterback in the NFL. Hockey, like I said, we can get into that. It's Thursday night in St. Louis. Here we go. All kinds of exciting things happening. It's St. Louis. We're into fall right now. And also, we'll get into it a little bit later, but there was also a 16-year-old young lady who did very well last week on The Voice. She sang a song, Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso. So we'll see how that works out for this young lady. But that's a huge, huge deal. I was working, Ryan, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I just left, as a matter of fact, when Carrie Underwood became massive coming out of Tulsa. And because she did so well, it literally put this startup station on the map. The ratings were so sky high because everybody wanted to watch anything about Carrie Underwood. She took the nation by storm, but that was not The Voice. That was Simon's show. But it's on my tongue again. Anyway, you never know what a young woman can do, but she's a St. Dominic High School junior, and boy, I guess she can sing. I haven't heard her, but we'll get into that story as well. So Arch City now here, ready to rock and roll. Glad you guys are with us. If you guys have a story you want to do, you can jump it on the chat line, X, Facebook, YouTube. We'll try to get to those comments as well. Plus, if you want to give us a call, you can do that as well. The phone number is 855-282-8255. Once again, 855-282-8255. We appreciate you guys jumping in with us this morning. When it comes to the weekend, highlights from the weekend as it was, there's so many places we could start. I'll go ahead and do this right now, just because it's early, and of course we can talk about it. NFL action. No more undefeated teams in the NFL. The Bills lose late last night at home to the Patriots of all teams, believe it or not. They're still a winless team who I think is going to go 0-16. That's the New York Jets. You've got who I believe are several teams. I mean, I could think of 5 or 6 different teams that could win the Super Bowl. I'm not kidding.
Me too.
5. I would not be surprised. I'll even go 6, because that's how crazy I think things have gotten when it comes to the NFL. Case in point, when you look at who you've got. Number one, you've got to go with the Eagles. The Bills, I think they could do it as well. So there's two, Eagles, Bills. Are the Colts for real? I don't know. They're 4-1. They're
Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones, he's playing good.
That's my outlier team. That's 3. The Lions, 4. I won't say the 49ers, but if they got Purdy back, wouldn't be surprised. Maybe 5. And then I'm going to throw them in there, the Chiefs. I mean, you've got.
What about the Rams?
And
yeah, they're really only losing off of special teams,
but they're 3-2. I guess
they've lost off of block kicks. Every game, block kick.
That's the beauty of the question. The beauty of the topic. You're right.
Yeah,
there are a lot of teams that are right there. I can't disagree. I can't disagree with that.
Did you say Tampa too?
I haven't put them in there yet, but there are a lot, and that's one of the things I do like about the NFL right now. Did I say Denver?
No, you didn't say Denver either.
I mean, if Denver beats Philadelphia, yeah. I mean, so there's so many teams right now that can make the NFL a little bit fun. So if they're script writing it, they're doing a pretty good job, in my humble opinion. There's no team that's like the Patriots of old or the Chiefs of the last 6 years, where people are, it's like, yep, that's the dominant team. No, there isn't. And I like it. And I think it's a good thing for the NFL right now. I really do. Not sure if you guys are into that, how your teams are doing, but it's wide open. And that leads us into the Chiefs tonight. Arrowhead Stadium, in Jacksonville. Next Sunday night is when they're back at Arrowhead. So they've got a nationally televised game tonight at Jacksonville, Monday Night Football. Then next Sunday, they host the Lions on Sunday Night Football. So that'll be a big deal. Chiefs fans get to these primetime games, which are absolutely huge. But right now you've got the Bills, who are 4-1, the Steelers, who are 3-1, the Colts are 4-1, Jacksonville's 3-1, the Eagles 4-1, the Lions 4-1, Tampa 4-1. Those are the teams that are the best in the NFL from a record standpoint right now. Enjoy it. That's for sure. 6:18 on a Monday morning. It's October 6th. Vic Faust here, Arch City Now. Producer Rye alongside as well. And by the way, the Jets, as I told the poor Jets, the winless team, I could totally see the Jets going without a victory this year. Could totally see it. And then I start to look at their schedule and what's happening and what's coming. The Broncos, Panthers, Bengals, Browns, Patriots. I could totally see it. I don't know. I could totally see them. And that's a sad thing. Oh, brother. Not so good. Okay. Anyway, with the Chiefs tonight, the Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites at Jacksonville. Now they're starting to get to be more like who they are and what we have seen in the past. So talking a little football from that standpoint, from an NFL side, you guys know what we do here, getting things going. What's going on in the St. Louis area? Like, subscribe, share our show, let us know. Anything and everything, all St. Louis. We're here for you. Also, I'll get into the other the college football stuff a little bit later. But I did want to hit on this too. One of the highlights for me over the weekend, because we haven't talked a lot about them, is what's happening with St. Louis City SC. Hey, their season's coming to an end. They're fighting to try. I don't know if they still have a shot, an outside shot, to get into the playoffs, but they looked good the other night. They looked really good. And I was impressed. They ended up winning 3-1. And they have now won 3 of their last 4 games. They needed to right the ship. And right now, because of how well they've played recently, they appear as if they can do this. All of a sudden, they were dead in the water. They make some changes, and then just like that, here you go. They've won 3 of their last 4 games. Currently, they have based on their current performance and standings, they need to win their remaining matches to clinch their playoff spot. The team's playoff picture, if they win their final game, and they have their next game is the 18th, they host, this is going to be an interesting game. Okay. Because right now, their final game, they play Salt Lake October 18th in St. Louis. That's an 8:00 game. They just beat Austin 3-1. If they win that game, yeah, they're going to the playoffs. And correct me if I'm wrong, if somebody else is watching and knows. I just want to make sure. Just a lot of credit to the team for what they've been able to do and getting things done the right way. Because going back to September 6th, they had a tie. Then they beat Montreal the next week. Then they beat San Jose. Then they lost to Los Angeles. They're 4-1-1 their last 6 games. That's not just getting, a good game here. That's starting to be a trim. That's 6 games. 4-1-1. They beat Salt Lake. You're talking about a team that's 5-1-1 to end the season. And that is exactly what we'd love to see in St. Louis. Finish the year on a good note, continue to build, figure out who I think the interim head coach is going to be your head coach. I don't know how you could switch from that situation after what they've been able to do recently. But major props, major kudos. Congrats to the soccer team for picking things up, getting it going. And really giving soccer fans in St. Louis from a professional standpoint something to be excited about. We love it, especially in this town as we head into hockey season. We know baseball wasn't so great, but it's good. It is good now. I do know this. I do not like watching playoff baseball when the Cardinals are not involved. It was so difficult for me to watch a Brewers-Cubs game. I tried, and I couldn't.
So sad.
I was like, ugh. Yeah. I was like, college. I need my college football. I could not do it. I'm like, these two teams, no. And they're playing each other. No, didn't like it. Couldn't stand it. But now I know how those other teams felt about the Cardinals going to the playoffs every year for so long. Now it's time for the Cardinals to do their rebuild, as we've been talking about. Art City now right here. Welcome to a Monday morning show. 6:23 is our time. We take you to 8:00. All things St. Louis, all the time. Jumping on the show. If you want to give us a call, you can. 855-282-8255. Once again, that's 855-282-8255. Here to get you going in the mornings. It is dark right now. Sun is not up. Should have a lot more sunshine today. Another one of these warm days coming up. Mid-80s, getting up maybe a little higher 80s. But at the same point in time, we've got a high of 70 tomorrow. We're supposed to maybe get a little shower later this afternoon, which is going to cool down the temperatures at least until Friday or Saturday when we're supposed to get highs again, I guess, in the low 80s. But what a wonderful week to enjoy fall in St. Louis. And it appears as if it's going to start this afternoon. If you have plans outside, that's a good thing. Enjoy it, as we always talk about, because the best season of the year, usually it can be fall in St. Louis. You already see the leaves changing. I see more leaves on the ground. I just want to enjoy it. Enjoy everything that we possibly can. If there's a topic, a story, a business, anybody that you want to promote, let us know. If there's a charity that you want to continue to talk about, let us know. We can do that as well. You can jump in on the chat line on X or Facebook, and we appreciate you guys joining us for the show. If there was a highlight from the weekend, let us know from that standpoint as well. We like to promote anything and everything that we can. If there's something that's got you going this morning, we'll do that too. Something that's upsetting you, something that's making you happy, we'll get into that as well. Producer Ryan, any highlights from the weekend from your standpoint when it comes to things that you did?
No.
Okay.
My Saturday was pretty full.
And the reason I ask you to is you never know where you're going to be, what you're doing. People may hear things, go, oh, yeah, maybe I could check that out. Or, oh, yeah, that's right. We got, or I didn't know St. Louis had this or had that.
Yeah, the only thing I can tell you guys is if you want to join the YMCA and put your kid in a nice youth league, you can. They have fun with soccer. And
I love
everything.
no, you coach YMCA, right?
No, I ref. Yeah.
Are you ref? Okay.
I can coach, though. I want to coach one day. I want to coach like basketball or something.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Because you play basketball at St. Mary's.
Yeah, I'd probably coach basketball, or I could do baseball too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out for the YMCA.
Shout out.
Absolutely. Love that. If you guys want to talk about the weekend when it came to the NFL, you can do that. When we come back, we'll talk about Mizzou football as well. Big, arguably the biggest game, and I'd like somebody else to say arguably the biggest game, at least in a decade. We'll talk about that. And speaking of Mizzou, I know it's early. Don't know if you'll be there today, what your work schedule's like, your personal schedule. But, we take it to 8 o'clock. Hot Take Central 2.0 with Cam Jansen and Jim the Cat Hayes follows our show every day, Monday through Friday from 8 to 10. But today at 10 o'clock and Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 10 to 11, you have the MIZSTL show. It's all things Mizzou all the time. An in-depth hour conversation about the black and gold, everything that's going on at the university when it comes to the sports program and anything else. And my, oh my, does Missouri have a huge opportunity on Saturday. Alabama did their thing on Saturday, setting up what will be a terrific, or should be a terrific Saturday morning in Columbia, Missouri. Those are things that we'll talk about when we come back from the break. Remember, you can jump in on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Let us know how things are going. Check in from where you are. Glad that you guys are with us this morning. Let people know about our show as well. People still finding out all the things that we do here. And you can also give us a call if you want to. The phone number to give us a call is 855-282-8255. Once again, it's 855-282-8255. We'll get into the Mizzou stuff. We've also got, as I told you about earlier, the supermoon. The first of 3 this year, and we're already to October. So this is when the full moon is closer to Earth in its orbit. So it looks a whole lot larger. Absolutely gorgeous. And we'll get into that. We'll tell you some of the details about that as well. Okay. We're rocking and rolling on a Monday morning, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, the sun getting ready to come up in St. Louis. It is October 6th. It is just about just a couple minutes before 6:30. Producer Ryan's alongside. I'm Vic Faust. This is Art City Now. We are your Lou information station. We're live and on demand at louinfo.com. Check out louinfo.com for a list of all of our programming shows, not only today, but every day, all throughout the day, all St. Louis, all the time. We'll be back with more. We'll talk about that Mizzou situation coming up right after the break.
Streaming 24/7 at luinfo.com.
Hey guys, welcome back into the show. Hope you are ready to get things going. It's a Monday morning, just about 6:35. It's October 6th. Oh, what a week of weather it should be. We're ready to get you going, ready and raring to go on a Monday morning. Jump into the show. If you want to talk to us, you can do that at 855-282-8255. 855-282-8255. You can also jump in on X, YouTube, and Facebook at Arch City Now. Jump in your comments. We'll talk to you. We'll figure out some of those things that are going on. Glad you guys are with us today. What's happening in St. Louis? What's happening in your lives? What's got the needle moving for you today? Anything you want to promote or get into, we'll do that with you as well. Okay. MIZZOU. Okay, I get it that not everybody that is in St. Louis is all about Mizzou, but it is our state school. And they're one of the best football teams in America. And they've been doing very well now for multiple years. They're selling out every game. It's an incredible experience. The atmosphere in Columbia has been as good as you're going to find in college football. SEC Nation came earlier in the season and were blown away by the support that the Tigers get, the excitement, the energy. Because for whatever reason, because we weren't an old school SEC school, they don't know how to do it in the North. Well, yeah, Missouri's been doing it very well. The town, the fans, the team, the tailgating, it's all reached a fever pitch. It's become top notch. Now, with that being said, Missouri is setting up for, and I think back to a game when Missouri was 11 and upset number 1 Oklahoma. Okay. That was a huge game. That was a big, big game. But man, you think of what's on the line right now with the opportunities for college football playoff and the tough schedule that Missouri has ahead. The Tigers this Saturday at 11 o'clock host Alabama. Alabama, who beat Vanderbilt. And by the way, Vanderbilt on the road hung with Alabama. I mean, their quarterback, Diego Pavia, had 2 massive turnovers when Vanderbilt was going in to score, or that game may be tied. Who knows what would happen? But their everything quarterback had 2 horrible turnovers that cost Vanderbilt that game. But Vandy at Alabama played with them. Now, Oklahoma looked real good throwing the football. Their quarterback is legit. They've got good receivers who are running open. Missouri's had an issue in the pass game. Are they going to be challenged? Yes, 100%. But now, Missouri with an incredible opportunity to go 6-0. Okay. Are they going to have to play a really top-notch game to win? Yeah, they are. Alabama's coming off 2 straight weeks of highly emotional football. Could they have a letdown? We certainly hope so. Early Saturday morning game. Missouri coming off a bye week. It's set up very nicely. Okay, so here you go. The line for the game starting at 3.5 points. Alabama favored at Mizzou by 3.5. Your thoughts from that standpoint? It's about where I thought last week. I predicted it would be 3. If Alabama won, it's 3.5. I think a lot of Tiger fans would probably think the line would be more. But they've only got a 3.5 point spread coming to Columbia. SEC Nation is going to be back in Columbia again this weekend for the game. Another national radio show is coming to Columbia. This is what Missouri and Eli Drinkwitz and the team has been able to, and the donors make this happen. It's something to feel good about in the state. It really is. You got an undefeated team. Alabama is now number 8 in the country. Missouri moves all the way up to 14. Missouri is now 14th. The 14th ranked Missouri Tigers. To this point in time, things have gone perfectly for Missouri to a script. Undefeated, bye week, hosting Alabama, who's ranked 8th. And if you win, you'll jump up to at least number 7 or 8 in the country. At least. You'll jump out past all the teams with one loss. And then you're sitting there getting ready to go take your first road test at Auburn. I mean, here we go. The stage is set for Missouri. There's going to be a lot of hype this week. There'll be a lot of people there. And I mean, it's sold out. Early start time. Early start time. So they'll come out of College Game Day, ESPN, and there'll be a lot of coverage on Alabama, Missouri next Saturday. You can bet that in the morning, especially with Nick Saban being on the show and Alabama being his team. Even though College Game Day will not be in Columbia, they'll be talking a whole bunch about it. And they should. They should. Because there's so much going on with that game and what can happen. Missouri's looking at getting the fans into the game early. If there was ever a time where Missouri has been in a situation like this, it's been a while. Because now you're talking about having the chance to really get even more of a national name by coming in and beating Alabama after Alabama just took care of Georgia on the road and then came home and beat a very good Vanderbilt team. I dread the fact that Missouri has to go to Vanderbilt and play that team. That's a good team. And I don't think Pavia is going to make the mistakes in games that are coming up like he did this last week. He cost his team 2 scores, which would have kept them in the game late. And they were still there. So once again, you see Missouri with a tough schedule ahead. Alabama, at Auburn, Vanderbilt, Texas A&M. It's there. So this game is crucial. But I can tell you this. If Missouri wins this game, they really set themselves up, even with the difficult schedule that's ahead, to really find themselves in a legitimate spot to get one of the college football playoffs positions that are opening. It's there for them. 100% there. Can't wait for that game on Saturday. If you have thoughts from that, how big it could be, we'll get into that. We'll also talk about that during the 7 o'clock hour as well. But that's as good as it gets for Missouri when it comes to that. A lot of people, I mean, I say a lot, but I do know people and families from the St. Louis area that have kids that have gone to Alabama, and it's fun to support the Crimson Tide. They've been dominant. Can Alabama really continue the streak that they're on, or are they the team that came out and lost to Florida State at the beginning of the year? We'll find out. We'll certainly find out. So you can jump in with your Mizzou comments. You can jump in on everything else that's going on throughout the area. You can let us know. A lot of stories happening. We like to talk all things St. Louis all the time. Also, when it comes to the St. Louis area, and you can jump in on chats, anything that we've talked about as well. I found this to be pretty interesting. But if you look at what's going on right now outside tonight, we've got literally the first supermoon of the year. It's October's supermoon. The moon is really close to Earth in its orbit, so it's gorgeous. You literally look up in the sky and you're like, wow, it looks massively big. About 14% larger and 30% brighter than the faintest moon of the year. That's all according to NASA. This coincides with other astronomical events like lunar eclipses as well. It's not really unusual. It's just one of those things where you're like, wow, look at the moon if you're not paying attention and you're driving around outside. But when you can see it, it's just one of those things that nature provides. It's just the beauty of it is really, really cool. So if you're checking it out, the moon will pass within about 224,600 miles of Earth. The closest supermoon of the year is slated for November. Then there's another one in December, back to back to back. You've also got in 2026 2 lunar eclipses coming, a total eclipse across much of North America, Asia, and Australia in March, and also a partial one in August across the Americas, Africa, and Europe. So if you're out and about tonight, you'll see it, you'll know it. That's a supermoon. You'll know why throughout the St. Louis area where you can see it. And if you're into the moons and everything else, you'll see what's going on. The supermoon coming very, very close to us tonight. This is Art City Now. Vic Faust, producer Rye alongside as well. Isn't it interesting? And this is sad because it just seems like we continue to have massive accidents and pileups throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. When it comes to traffic, when it comes to roads, if you guys, where you notice accidents, do you see drivers being more aggressive? I mean, I know it's been one of those topics that can be talked about all the time. And if so, where? Any experiences recently? I knew of one yesterday. A woman was so irate, angry that my friend was just ahead of her and couldn't get over from the left lane, like riding her to the point, and then she gets over, and then the woman who was trying to pass just starts flipping her off. And I'm sorry, there's a lot of people, I don't believe in the road rage. I don't believe in flipping people off. It's better if you don't do anything. You can just smile. Someone's looking at you, smile. That burns them off more than the aggressive rage. So many people lose their temper and want to flip people off and scream. But those things can cause accidents. And we had another damn accident yesterday in Jefferson County out at the 173-mile marker. One child was taken to a nearby hospital listed in stable condition. Unfortunately, nobody passed away, as we've seen in recent accidents. But it just seems as if we're finding and running into more accidents or big accidents in the St. Louis area. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It just seems like we're hearing more and seeing more when it comes to accidents, which led me to the question, are you seeing or thinking or feeling or experiencing more people with over-the-top aggression when it comes to driving? And if so, where? Can highways be made better in some areas, or roads? Or if you're driving somewhere, where should people go? Okay, be careful or be ready. Either you're entering the Autobahn, or you're entering somewhere that's slower, or you're entering crazy land where people just want to lose their mind and come after you for whatever reason. These things it can happen. And of course, as soon as we talk about it, then you may get tested when you're out on the road and you're like, okay, what am I going to deal with today? But fortunately, for the second straight, or this time it was fortunately nobody lost their life, but for the second straight weekend, you had traffic backed up because of an accident on the highway. And I still have no idea how accidents happen on the highway when everybody should be driving the speed limit or around the speed limit, and nobody should be turning off. I don't even know how it happens unless somebody cuts somebody else off. And maybe something like that has happened to you. And you're like, wait a second, Vic, it's very easy to happen. If somebody does this or does that, maybe it's something that's happened to you as well. I don't know. But I don't know. We appreciate you guys jumping. By the way, I just looked over at our X account. Paul Thank you for listening. Good morning to you. Oh, American Idol. Duh. I was talking about Carrie Underwood. It's American Idol. Right? You should have known that. You're a music guy.
I thought it was American Idol, but I was just letting you go with it.
I wasn't smart enough.
I was like,
I couldn't
maybe
remember.
It's American Idol. But
yes.
I was like,
so, Paul, we appreciate it if you were still listening. Sorry, just saw that coming down the chat line. Okay, guys, what about this? Because we talk about St. Louis. I thought this was interesting. And it may take us to the top of the hour and we continue the next break. But we know how St. Louisans have loved to kind of put people in categories. I hated the old high school question, so I never asked it, never do, never will. But for whatever reason, because of how this St. Louis area was brought together way back when, North County, South County, West County, Mid St. Louis County. What constitutes what? Where is this county and where is that county? I grew up in the Maryland Heights area. So I asked you earlier, Rye, where would you consider Maryland Heights to be West County? According,
is it?
Well, Fox 2 had this on their website. I thought it was kind of fun.
I call it Maryland Heights.
Well, I don't know. That was the one that always, I was like, oh. See, now when I was growing up there, I was like, yeah, that's West County. But is that still West County? I considered it to be that. But I don't know. I was trying to think of weird border towns and what you would consider them. And ABC Quality Moving and Storage put this together to try to offer people kind of an idea, maybe a rough idea, rough guide on what constitutes what. So maybe it was their idea and maybe you constitute it somewhere different. But North St. Louis County, any municipality touching or north of Interstate 70. That's considered North County. So the dividing line is Highway 70. But until I guess you got to the Missouri River.
It doesn't say?
No, it just says, but then it becomes St. Charles County.
Yeah.
South St. Louis County, any municipality touching or south of Interstate 44. So once you get to 44 and 270 or 44 all the way down to the city and south, that's what South County is. And of course, more in the city, it would be South City.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because I lived in South City.
Here you go. How about West St. Louis County? Any municipality, and you already know it's going to be 270.
Yeah.
West St. Louis County, any municipality touching or west. Here you go. West of the north-south sections of 270. So Maryland Heights would be considered West County, like right there on the border because it sits right on 270 in between the north-south sections of I-270. And then how about this Mid St. Louis County? Any municipality generally between 70, 44, and 270, mostly with proximity to Interstate 64. So that would be those areas in between, U City, Ladue, maybe, Olivet. I don't know. You keep going over there, maybe Webster, Kirkwood.
It's a lot.
Yeah, that's what you would call Mid St. Louis County.
So
and then
like
of course,
anything in that just realm of just in the middle of all that stuff.
Yeah, what
Just
would you
its own
call that?
little
Yeah.
spot.
Okay, they've got their towns like North St. Louis County.
Yeah.
Included, but not limited to, Bellefontaine Neighbors, Berkeley, Blackjack, Bridgeton.
Yeah.
Bridgeton considered North St. Louis County.
Okay.
Ferguson, Florissant, Hazelwood, Jennings, Old Jamestown, Pine
Yeah.
Lawn, Spanish Lake, St. Anne.
That all makes sense to me except for Bridgeton, but yeah.
South St. Louis County.
Yeah.
Included, but not limited to, Afton, Concord, Crestwood, Green Park, Lemay, Marlboro, Melville, Oakville,
Yeah.
Sappington, Sunset Hills.
Yeah, that's all South County for sure.
So Sunset Hills is considered to be South County.
I don't
And
know
I
about
was
that
like,
one.
really? And then, of course, here you go. West County included too, but not limited. Baldwin, just to give you an idea, Baldwin, Clarkson Valley, Chesterfield, Ellisville, Manchester, Twin Oaks, Wildwood, Winchester. Mid St. Louis County, like I was just talking about. Brentwood, Clayton,
Yeah, I was
Frontenac,
thinking that.
Glendale, Ladue,
Mm-hmm.
Huntley, Maplewood, Olivet,
Yeah.
U City, Rock Hill, Warson Woods. Any discrepancies? Who should be what? Where should they be? It is interesting. For instance, the north-south sections of I-270 cut through the cities of Creve Coeur, De Pere, Maryland Heights, Town and Country, leaving some wondering whether they should be West County or Mid County. And that was my question to start with. Maryland Heights even briefly touches I-70, which could be considered North County to an extent. And similarly, the cities of Kirkwood, Shrewsbury, and Webster Groves are all split by I-44, so they could be considered or associated with mid-county communities, though some might consider them to be South County. Webster and Kirkwood considered South County. And then you've got Eureka, Fenton, and Pacific are west of 270, but are split by I-44, sometimes earning an even more unofficial label of Southwest County. So I guess you could break it all down. I don't know. It's fun to kind of talk about it, and we can bring it up a little bit later in the show as well. But we're glad you're with us. We've got things going on a Monday morning. The sun is up throughout the St. Louis area. It's 6:56. It's October 6th. Love it when you guys jump in the show. You can do it on X, YouTube, and Facebook. Jump in on the show. Give us your comments. Or if you feel like it, you can also give us a call. The phone number to do that is 855-282-8255. Once again, that's 855-282-8255. We are your Lou information station. We're live and on demand at louinfo.com. We take you to 8 o'clock. Hot Take Central 2.0 with the former Blue Cam Jansen and St. Louis Cardinals broadcaster Jim the Cat Hayes come up at 8 o'clock, and they take you till 10 o'clock. We got to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll set the stage again for the second hour of the show as we continue to talk all things St. Louis all the time. Chiefs tonight, Mizzou, St. Louis City SC soccer, lots going on. We'll get to it all. We are your Lou information station. Once again, live and on demand at louinfo.com. We're here till 8 o'clock. Vic Faust, alongside producer Rye. Glad you're with us, doing all things St. Louis all the time. You know the drill. Glad you're with us as we get you up and going on a Monday morning. The sun is now starting to come up throughout the St. Louis area. We've got another day of mid to upper 80s for a high, but that changes allegedly by afternoon. Could see a shower or two throughout the St. Louis area, which was going to help bring the temperatures down. But for the next, 4 or 5 days, high temperatures in the 70s, taking us into the weekend. Looks absolutely gorgeous as we talk about the things that are revolving around the St. Louis area, whether it's happenings in your area, whether it's sporting events, whether it's restaurants, areas, towns, you name it. That's what we do. Appreciate it when you guys jump in on the show, of course, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. You can give your comments. We'll say those publicly if you want us to as well. You can have conversations with us. You can have conversations with everybody who is listening as well. Plus, if you wanted to give us a call, we'll take your call at 855-282-8255. That is 855-282-8255. We're live on the radio. We're live on podcasting, and we do this all day long. Coming up at 8 o'clock, it's Hot Take Central 2.0 with the former St. Louis Blue Cam Jansen and Cardinals broadcaster Jim the Cat Hayes. And then today from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, it's the MIZ-STL show. I will join Grant Salzman for that. It is all Mizzou all the time. Unmatched content and insight when it comes to Mizzou sports. And of course, right now, it's all about the football team. We'll be talking a lot about what is one of the biggest, maybe top 2, top 3 games, maybe ever. I said ever on a football Saturday in Columbia, considering what's at stake. Saturday at 11 o'clock, we can talk about that throughout the show as well, as Missouri, 14th ranked Missouri, host 8th ranked Alabama. Missouri's undefeated. Alabama with a loss at the start of the year against Florida State. What a week it should be there from that standpoint. Anything else that's going on, we'll talk about that too. Anything St. Louis related. We're just grateful that you guys are with us and helping make the show what it is. You've got Chiefs tonight. Lots of Chief fans throughout the St. Louis area coming off an NFL weekend. No undefeated teams. Everybody's kind of hodgepodge together. There's really no dominant team. You can look at, 5, 6 teams that I think you could legitimately say could win the Super Bowl, that they have what it takes to win. Literally. No undefeated teams after the Patriots of all teams took down the Bills in Buffalo last night. If you can believe that stuff, just blew my mind to see that happen, but it happened. It is the NFL. And as much as things may change and we have all of these teams that are still there, one thing remains: the Jets are the Jets, and they could have a winless season. And I am not kidding about that. Jets remain the only winless team in the NFL from that standpoint. So it sets up tonight for the Chiefs, who started the season 0-2. They really, really, really need this win tonight. I'm not going to call it a must win, but I am. They're 2-2. They play at the Jags, who are 3-1. But Kansas City has some tough games coming up. Next week, they host the Lions, who are arguably one of the top 2-3 teams in the league. There's no doubt about that. So they host the Lions next week on a Sunday Night Football, another primetime game. Then they host the Raiders. Then they have another game at home that is not going to be easy when you look at who they've got coming up, because if they don't win that third game that they play when it comes, you're talking about Washington, who's now got Daniels back. That's that third game that they're hosting, literally hosting the Lions, the Raiders at home. Lions, Raiders, and Commanders. 3 straight games after tonight. And then they're at the Bills, and then at the Broncos, and then they host the Colts. That's as tough as it. That's a tough 6-game stretch, as tough as any you're going to see. So the Chiefs really put themselves behind the proverbial 8 ball, losing 2 straight games this year. They've won 2 in a row. So what's going to happen? We'll see. But that is where it is when it comes to sports from that standpoint. 7:10 is the time. It's a Monday morning. We'll continue to talk about that. We'll get into Mizzou a little bit later. I talked about this already. the first supermoon of the year. We're expecting 3 of them will be happening tonight. So it's when the moon is closest to the earth, and the moon looks incredibly larger. I said about 14-15% larger, but brighter, about 30% brighter. So you'll notice it. Just a really cool experience to watch. We were also talking about what constitutes North County, South County, West County, South County, Mid County. So we'll get in more to that, what you guys feel it is. It's just fun to talk about. Also, the St. Louis Dispatch with some news about going all digital on some days that are coming up in advance. We'll get into that as well. What about a shout out to a St. Charles or a St. Peter's team who is lighting things up on, she had a really good night at the Voice. We'll get into that as well. St. Louis City SC, they're as hot as it can be right now. Literally 4-1-1 in their last 6 games. They've gone an impressive run. They won over the weekend on the road. Next game will be on the 18th, and they put themselves right back in position for the playoffs. Who would have thought? So congrats to this team for really making some things happen and getting things back on track. And anything else that you guys want to talk about, you can jump in on the chat line. Facebook, X, and YouTube. We'll let you know where we're starting to see. You can let us know too about any sort of events that are coming up, promoting any events, people, businesses, charities. How was your weekend? Highlights from the weekend. We'll talk about it. We'll get it out there. And of course, anything that you want to talk about. That's what we do here at Art City Now. Producer Ryan's alongside. I'm Vic Faust. We're here Monday through Friday, as we said, 6 to 8 a.m. And of course, we're just trying to have fun, be positive, move forward, and talk about all good things that are happening throughout the St. Louis area. Okay, with that being said, the Chiefs tonight, your thoughts. If you want to jump in on the chat line, let us know anywhere from that standpoint. I do think the Chiefs win tonight. I think they go to Jacksonville and get a win. I'm looking forward to watching Travis Hunter, the Heisman Trophy winner from Colorado last year, play. He's had a pretty good year. A lot of pressure been put on him. That's for sure. He'll play offense and then maybe a little defense as well. Of course, he's that slash type of player that we have talked about. We also like to get into some headlines during the 7:00 hour. Another massive accident over the weekend. Thankfully, nobody lost their life, but a child was injured and rushed to the hospital, stable condition. But it just seems like there's more and more accidents out and about. Is it distracted driving? Is it aggressive driving? Are there really more accidents occurring? Police will tell you they are. Do you find there to be more aggressive drivers? Are people taking their frustrations out? Are you somebody that's taking your frustrations out when you're driving? You're human. I get it. And if there's anything that's ever going to test our patience in a day, you know what it is? It's driving. I think more so than anything else you deal with in a day, it's drivers, isn't it? People driving? Maybe. I don't know. There's things that bug the hell out of me, right? Little things, stupid things. But fortunately, driving isn't yet. God help me.
People bug me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be honest.
I knew it was going to happen.
It really depends on the day. Like, some days I'll just be chilling and I'll be like, man, this person just doesn't know how to drive. And then other days I'm just like, man, war's about to break loose. That's all I'm going to say.
Is St. Louis worse than other cities that you've lived in?
No, Chicago has the worst drivers, though, for sure. Because it's so much traffic,
now we're
and
getting
they
somewhere.
just drive like they're from St. Louis, but it's so many cars that you can't do it. So it's like, yeah. And then in Des Moines, they just drive super duper slow.
Well, but I see that in certain areas of the St. Louis area too, though.
That's fine, though. I understand that. But the whole city just drives like 45 on the highway.
Where, in Des Moines?
Yeah,
it's Iowa.
50.
No, I get it.
No, that's
so. But at least you said Chicago is worse to drive in than the St. Louis area.
Oh yeah.
Because I know people who've lived in other areas of the country and are from other areas. When they're here, they think the driving here is the worst that they've ever seen.
Yeah, it's because people like they be driving fast and swerving through and stuff.
And it also
Like-
isn't it, but the other thing too about the St. Louis area, isn't it sections of where you're driving
Yeah, it
to?
depends. Like when I'm on 55 and stuff, like they're gonna be driving crazy. Like that makes
What?
sense.
55? Try 70.
Yeah, like 72, they drive crazy, duh. But like there's just certain places where they drive really calm. You just have to know where you're driving at.
Well, I was wondering. I mean, jump in, let us know. 855-282-8255, 855-282-8255. Are you noticing people getting more aggressive? Where do you deal with situations? What has happened? Is St. Louis the worst, or St. Louis Metropolitan? If not, where is the worst that you have driven? Here's the thing. When I was in Atlanta, and I was in Atlanta recently, everybody flies. I mean, it's fast. You guys can let us know from that standpoint. Also, I don't know. I guess on a daily basis, things can happen where you're going to get tested. And it all comes up because it just seems like there's been more and more accidents. And the worst case scenario is somebody gets severely injured or loses their life. So it can be a serious situation. And then, of course, it just seems people maybe can be selfish and people can just push it through. Those things can happen. But anyway, we'll talk about that stuff as well. You can always give us a call, 855-282-8255. That is 855-282-8255. We'll take your calls as well. Somebody calling in right now, 717. Vic Faust here, producer Ryan alongside. This is Art City Now. What's going on? Are you talking driving? Are you talking craziness on the roads?
Me?
Yes.
I am not talking craziness on the road. I'm been listening and I'm trying to figure out what this show is about because you keep saying that you're going to tell us everything that's going on in St. Louis, but I never hear anything.
Oh, we try
I
to
only
talk.
hear sports.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Is there anything you'd like to talk about? That's a great point.
I want to know why you're broadcasting. You are horrible.
Okay.
You are horrible.
Thank
at your job.
you. I love you, but I
You should
I love you.
absolutely get something else. Maybe.
I love it. That's awesome. Oh, I wanted it. I wanted to. That's all right. We'll talk to her later. It is a great point. It's a great question because when you do this show, we do everything. We do news. We do sports. We do that. This was the whole concept. And maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. But we love your opinion. We love you being honest.
We
and
love
guess
your
what?
opinion, Kimberly. It was just,
No, but here's the thing. People have to talk and you listen. And it's like we cover sports. Yes, we do sports, but we ask people, let us know. I wanted Kimberly to tell me before. I want her to tell me what she wants to hear, and we can do that. So those things happen. But Kimberly, I love you. I appreciate it. You can email me, victorjfaust@gmail.com. Once again, that's victorjfaust@gmail.com. Give me an email and let's talk. We'll talk about things that are happening in St. Louis. We'll go. Kimberly, we'll do a segment with you every Monday about what's happening in St. Louis. So email me. Seriously, I'm wide open for anything from that standpoint. But you can give us a call. We told you 855-282-8255. We are your Lou information station, live and on demand at louinfo.com. Talking about the traffic situation from St. Louis, where we were. Also, another interesting news note, as you know, because it's been a lot of sports day. She was right. Today's been a heavy sports day. We've had a lot of sports day. We do tons of news, don't we? We do tons of news.
It's Monday. It's Monday Night Football tonight. Sunday was yesterday. Saturday had a lot of big time games. So it's going to be a pretty.
But she's right. Today. But it's been a lot of sports today.
She is right.
To this point in time.
I just think the delivery was a little.
That's all right. It's all good.
I'll be fighting for my host. I'm sorry.
I appreciate it. I've been doing this 27 years. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch, by the way, we were getting a lot of the news headlines now, and we try to stay away from the really, really bad stuff. The Post-Dispatch is going to cease printing its Monday edition starting November 3rd. They're going to go all digital. It's been a situation that they've done for quite some time, moving to a digital-only format for that day. So here's the thing. Subscribers will still have access to the full newspaper online on Mondays, while printed editions are going to continue to be delivered from Tuesday through Sunday. So the Post-Dispatch put this out and said that reader habits continue to change in the digital age. So they say they have to continue to adapt. That certainly makes sense. And the move is all part of the Post-Dispatch strategy to align with the evolving habits of its readership who increasingly consume news online. All right, so there you have it. As those updates go ahead, we continue to promote those as well. Can you imagine this situation, Ryan? Yesterday, unfortunately, there wasn't anybody seriously injured, but try to imagine this. You're in St. Charles County, and there's a motorcycle rally going on, and a car comes and slams into a line of motorcycles. Yeah, that happened in St. Charles County yesterday. One man was injured. What happened was police who were called to the scene said the driver of the car, oh my God, doing burnouts in a red Corvette.
Ooh.
And lost control. Why that? Okay, somebody's doing burnouts in a red Corvette at a motorcycle rally, loses control and hits several motorcycles and a boat that was parked nearby. Sounds like a wild, crazy time. Man suffered ankle injury, was sent to the hospital for that. Tickets issued, but fortunately, no other massive major issues that occurred out of that from that standpoint. So, if anybody was out there, feel free to let us know from that standpoint. By the way, you can jump in with comments on X, YouTube, and Facebook. We try to talk with you. You guys promote St. Louis. You tell us about events that are coming up, things that you did from the weekend. You can promote your favorite charity, business. We love to give the shout outs, all positive all the time when it comes from that standpoint. How about this from a positive standpoint? You have a St. Peter's Jr., 16-year-old young woman who did very, very well on The Voice. She sang Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso. And this young lady is a junior at St. Dominic High School over in St. Peter's. Her name is Olivia Liv Sierra, and she is an incredible talent. She literally took the national stage on season 28 of NBC's The Voice, and this was during Tuesday's blind audition. So here's what's going on, which is really cool. Sierra's incredible talent, this is coming from them, and dedication is going to be featured on the national stage, and our entire school community couldn't be more proud. This coming from St. Dominic in a Facebook post that they put out. So the specifics from that standpoint are this. Her performance didn't get any of the celebrity coaches to turn their chairs, but she earned high praise for her singing abilities. Reba McEntire said that she had a gorgeous voice and encouraged her to return with another song. So that was really cool to hear. Also, Sierra shared a personal connection with Michael Bublé during her audition, revealing that her father's band once opened for him at a birthday party in St. Louis. Before leaving the stage, Sierra handed out suckers to each of the judges and said, my dad was so excited. He was like, go give this sucker to Michael Bublé. And so actually, I thought it would be funny if like 20 years later, I gave you guys some suckers, because why not? So love to hear it. Thanks, St. Dominic, for pushing that out there from a positive standpoint. We appreciate that. By the way, we talked about the Maryville University e-gaming team last week and how they dominate the country from that standpoint, how they handle the scholarships from that standpoint. They were listening. They're going to be on the show coming up next week. So the e-gamers will be in studio. It said they love what we do with the show. They love the news headlines. They love us with a focus, a positive on the St. Louis area. Of course, as we talked about, it's really crazy how they just dominate the country from e-games.
I'm interested in that. I want to see the Rebel bringing, like, are we getting them on in the morning? And
Yeah.
they're coming in too.
Yeah.
See, that's dedication.
Well, it is, but but you know what?
They do that. They play the game for so long. Like,
They're probably up all night playing video games.
They're probably playing.
We'll have more on that coming up this week as well. Also, a couple news updates happening this morning. 2 major ramp closures in the St. Louis area as well, set to impact thousands of drivers. That starts this morning. MoDOT says that the exit ramp, if you're going this way from the eastbound Missouri Route 370 to southbound I-270, that's going to be closed from 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, October 10th, to allow for pavement repairs. So MoDOT says drivers should use the Missouri Bottom Road exit ramp from Route 370 east as a detour. From there, you can just, turn around and head southbound on I-270. Not fun, but driving repairs happen all over. Also, MoDOT has closed the 2-lane ramp from eastbound I-44 onto northbound I-55 starting at 7 p.m. Monday night. So that's going to happen. The closure is also for pavement repairs and is expected to last just one night, with the ramp reopening Tuesday morning at 5 a.m. So during that I-44, I-55 closure, drivers are going to be detoured to southbound I-55 to Arsenal, where they can return to I-55 northbound. Just getting some of those headlines out there that are happening in the St. Louis area from that standpoint. If you want to jump in with us, X, YouTube, and Facebook, as we always say. Love it when you guys jump in on the show and let us know what's happening all around the St. Louis area. We've covered a lot of those situations today, and we'll continue to. By the way, the MIZ STL show is today from 10 to 11 o'clock. That's Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Everything about Mizzou, everything with what's happening. They're a big, big story throughout the area and the state from that standpoint as Alabama comes to town on Saturday. By the way, the Crimson Tide, a 3.5-point favorite coming to Columbia. Be curious to think what you guys find out what you guys think about that when it comes to, oh yeah, here we go. What's happening? By the way, we could get a little rain this afternoon as well. Temperatures are going to start to cool down. We start to see that beautiful fall weather. Highs in the 70s. Yeah, I think I could do that for the next 4 or 5 days. That's for sure. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back. We'll take a quick break. 855-282-8255. We are your Lou Information Station. We're live and on demand at louinfo.com. Producer Ryan's alongside. I'm Vic Faust, back with more Art City Now right after October 6th. It is 7:34. Producer Ryan alongside as well. We are here till, I don't know, about 7:57. Of course, Hot Take Central 2.0 follows us every day from 8 to 10 o'clock. All things St. Louis area, we try to hit there. You can, by the way, check out the entire network at luinfo.com, your Lou information station, live and on demand at luinfo.com. You can check out all the content, the programming that we have throughout the week. We do it all, and we try to do it all from early morning until late at night. Of course, Hot Take Central 2.0 is the 8 to 10 o'clock show. From 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you have the MIZ STL show, all things Mizzou all the time. Myself and Grant Salzman will be breaking down the massive Mizzou football game that's coming up Saturday. As big as it gets, sold out. If you're not a Mizzou alum, or if you haven't been there, you should check it out. It is a fantastic day, what the campus has done, where our state school is, and how many people from the state and the St. Louis area actually go to Mizzou. And now you have an undefeated team that's ranked 14th in America. Once again, Mizzou ranked 14th, hosting number 8 Alabama Saturday at 11 o'clock. SEC Nation will be in Columbia. There's another national show that's coming to Columbia for the game as well. It's an 11 o'clock start, very, very early in the morning. However, Alabama's coming off 2 very emotional games, very emotional. They're both wins, and now they come to Columbia. They're 3.5-point favorites over Mizzou, but it is I don't know, that point spread it's not very big, but Alabama's offense looks very, very good. So a lot of things there for Missouri when it comes to really making a day for themselves and getting into the college football playoff, which would be a fantastic thing for them to be able to do. Okay. Also, we can talk about that as people jump in on the chat line. People call to talk to us in regards to what's happening. What was your weekend like? Highlights from the weekend, anything that you want to promote from the St. Louis area. We do that as well. When we look at the events that are coming up, lots of things going on all throughout the St. Louis area. We did a lot of the news headlines in the 6 o'clock hour, a lot of sports headlines coming out of the weekend. Ryan and I were talking about that earlier. There's just a lot of sports things that are going on right now that people are up to and that people tell us about. I mean, you got the Chiefs tonight, Monday Night Football.
MLB playoff baseball too. It's a lot of sports.
We haven't even gotten into that yet.
Hockey starting up too.
Haven't even gotten into that.
NBA
yet.
preseason.
Haven't even gotten.
It's a lot going on right now. So.
So we were talking about the Mizzou standpoint. Then you've got the Chiefs tonight. Lots of Chiefs fans all throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. So the Chiefs on Monday Night Football. Travis Kelce had his 36th birthday yesterday. Says he hates birthdays, by the way. Okay, I gotcha. All good in the hood from that standpoint. Really, Chiefs with what I would consider a must-win tonight. They they're being hosted by the Jacksonville Jaguars. People who are sports fans will be checking that out as well. Then you've got baseball playoffs that are going on as well. Obviously, Cardinals are not playing, but that action is taking place tonight. You look at what's going on. I mean, you got the Cubs and the Brewers. They play the 8 o'clock game tonight. Dodgers and Philly. So it's an all National League tilt. So, a lot of baseball fans throughout the area can watch those games. So that's going on. But we have to give shout outs to St. Louis City SC. And we have people coming in at different times throughout the show, throughout the morning, being here for 2 hours. They're 4-1-1 in their last 6 games and have put themselves back into a playoff position or position to make the playoffs. They don't play again until the 18th, but it is a home game when they'll be taking taking the field to wrap up a playoff spot. And I can't give enough credit to what they've been able to do and how they've turned around the ship, so to speak, after pretty much looking dead in the water. But they've been able to turn it around. And we know St. Louisans love their soccer, and we love this team. So credit to the ownership group, credit to the team for finding a way to make things happen and to try to get a little bit better about what they need to do.
Speaking about sports, one of my favorite viewers, Donna, she said, "Did you listen to the new Taylor Swift album?"
No. I haven't. Hey, go get him, Taylor. I'm not a
Yeah.
hater. I always say be positive, stay focused, be positive, want everybody to do the best that they can possibly do. Taylor doesn't need any of our luck. I think Taylor's going to be just fine. I'm too busy. We got too much going on. But thank you, Donna, for jumping in on the chat line. By the way, because we cover so much and we move from topic to topic, sometimes we may not see the comments, but I appreciate Rye picking that up for me. You can jump in on X, on Facebook, on YouTube, and just join it. Join the chat. Matter of fact, we'll take a look at it right now. We appreciate you guys talking with us, wanting to get words out. We love it when you guys participate in the show, because when you're participating in the show, when you're watching the show, we're able to get more things that are heading out there. We encourage you. Let us know what you want to see, what you want to cover. And we leave it open for you guys so that you can talk with us from that standpoint. Also from the chat line, go Chiefs, go Phillies. Okay. This season is a gift. I guess that it would be. All right, Donna. Thanks for letting us know. You guys can also jump in on X, Facebook, and YouTube and give us your comments there as well. Promote anything that's going on in the area. We were talking about the weather. Could see a little rain later today, but temperatures are going to cool down a little bit, which is fantastic for this area. It's exactly what we need from that standpoint. Heading into fall, people may like the weather as it's been. Obviously, it's hard to make everybody happy, but we've got a situation where it's a 70s as a high for about the next 4 or 5 days, heading back into the weekend. You're going to see temperatures, getting back into the 80s. By the way, don't forget about the supermoon, the first supermoon of the year approaching. You've got that tonight. It's literally going to be about 30% brighter, 14% bigger. And according to NASA, it's the closest one of the year. Then you've got another one coming in November and another one in December. And I don't know, it's just really cool. The astronomy of things and how life goes and the moon being that close. Lots of positivity. Checking that out. Guys, if you want to jump in on something, let us know. The other thing, when we look at it, is we were talking about this earlier, and we got a couple comments. When it came to activity on the roadways, where you're crashing, where you're dealing with people. We've had a lot of crashes in it. I mean, a lot. Fortunately, over the weekend, there wasn't anybody that lost their life, but it is serious on the roads. And how to be as careful as possible and do our best not to road rage and to have anybody who may cut you off or ride you, force you into a situation where you do get into an accident. But we've seen some of these things happening more and more. Brian told us that a lot of people seem to be driving him crazy, but said Chicago is worse than the St. Louis area when it comes to driving.
Way worse.
All right. I've had others say that St. Louis is the worst they've ever seen. I don't think it is, but then we'll go outside and we'll get challenged today. It'll take 5 minutes as you leave.
You never know. I saw something happen right outside where we're at right now. So you never know.
Well, it's the old adage, if you go to church and then 5 minutes after you go to church, you're going to be tested. Mm-hmm. It's like, did you just not learn anything when you were in church? One of the other national news headlines that's going on, nothing in the St. Louis area, and it hasn't been talked. I know it became a headline, but that was about the president sending the National Guard to certain cities, certain places. I know we talked about it much earlier, but he says he's going to send the National Guard to Chicago because of a safety standpoint and because of agents who were literally blocked in, rammed by cars, and put in a situation where they shot back. And a woman was hit who was armed with a semi-automatic gun. Literally, agents, as they were doing raids, getting blocked in and rammed by citizens' cars. So is it going to happen? We'll see. A judge has issued a temporary restraining order as the president was going to send the National Guard into the Portland area, but we'll see where that goes. Nothing about the St. Louis area. And it's a talk about. It's 2025. And here we are never, I mean, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I don't think we'd ever be imagining talking about situations of this possibility happening throughout the area. Art City Now here, take you to about 7:57 this morning. Anything you want to jump in, get involved with, we'll talk about that. We appreciate it, Paul. Thanks for jumping in on the show this morning. I haven't talked about it yet today, but don't get left out if you're trying to get Blues tickets. Thursday night, season opener, home opener against the Minnesota Wild. A lot of excitement is around this team. And it's really good to get more people, downtown as well. We like to promote downtown as best as we possibly can. Obviously, we know the debacle, the apathy that was there when it came to the St. Louis Cardinals in this season. But now the flip side of that, the complete reverse, is the excitement and anticipation with Blues hockey. And I do know people who were affected financially who worked inside the ballpark and outside the ballpark when it came to the Cardinals. People weren't there. They didn't make money. They struggled from that standpoint, from a financial standpoint. And sometimes we don't think about that. People weren't going. Now people are going to be going to the Blues. It's a hot ticket, just like St. Louis City SC as they've turned it around. And we love to promote the city as much as we possibly can. So you've got that going on. The Wild, the Blues, 6:30 on Thursday night, kicking off the season. You can jump in. A lot of people excited about the Blues. They'll be talking a lot more about that, obviously, today on Hot Take Central 2.0, which is coming up at 8 o'clock with the former Blue Cam Jansen and Cardinals broadcaster, Jim the Cat Hayes. It's a lot of these things are starting to come down the pipeline. People starting to come in and get ready for hockey season. We talked about it earlier, a lot of times on Mondays, and it was quiet. And it's more of a quiet time, at least from the news standpoint, this past weekend leading into Monday. But it was huge when it came to the St. Louis area, when it came to sports, when it came to what people are looking forward to do, pushing forward, entertainment, excitement. But from a music standpoint, we love it when you guys let us know what's going on. And the factory does a really good job of doing that, letting us know. Of course, the factory in Chesterfield, if you haven't checked it out yet, they're packed year round, and they get a lot of credit for doing a good job, just like the pageant does. But talk about a big week for them. Tonight, Modest Mouse will be performing, 7:30. Tomorrow, Allie and AJ over at the factory. That's a 7 p.m. start time. Wednesday night, Ziggy Marley over in Chesterfield at the factory as well. Thursday, Napoleon Dynamite Live. That show beginning at 7:30. And then on Friday, Nurse Blake. So, and that is an 8 o'clock show. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Looking for some music, that'll be there. You can also check out one of our shows called Sounds of STL. Tony Patrico does a phenomenal job when it comes to the music scene throughout the St. Louis area. Sounds of STL, you can check it out. Music groups that are coming to town, things from that standpoint, acts that are coming. Also, if you know of something, let us know. We have people who check in. Owners of bars, they'll come in and let us know if somebody's playing. Nice time to catch some musical acts throughout the St. Louis area, somebody performing outside. Patio weather has been just about perfect over the last couple of weeks where bands are playing. People are getting out and seeing what they can from that standpoint. If you didn't catch it earlier, the Post-Dispatch, they're moving closer and closer to going all digital. Now, you can still get some of the print, but they're going to cease their printing of their Monday edition, and that's going to start the week of November 3rd. They're moving to a digital-only format for that day. Now, subscribers will still have access to the full newspaper online on Mondays, while printed editions will be continued to be delivered Tuesday through Sunday. So the Post-Dispatch said that, reader habits continue to change in the digital age, so they got to adapt. I mean, that's true. But they're also trying to align their strategy with the evolving habits of readership who increasingly consume news online. I don't think that's any surprise It is what it is. Those things are starting to happen when it comes, and it's been that way for quite some time. The end of print, and it's digital, and that's where people go from that standpoint. Arch City Now here, producer Rye alongside Vic Faust. 7:49 is the time on a Monday throughout the St. Louis area. Beautiful day in store. Anything that you guys want to promote, you're always welcome to jump in on the show. Let us know. You can give us a call. The phone number there is 855-282-8255. Once again, that's 855-282-8255. We were talking about this earlier. What constitutes the counties? Fox 2 put this article out and thought it was interesting when it came to North County, South County, West County, and Mid County, Mid St. Louis County. A lot of the time it can be pretty clear what is and what isn't. But I thought it was interesting that they put this out there. It was a moving company to help people better understand where they are or what constitutes this or constitutes that. It was ABC Quality Moving and Storage. And North County is considered any municipality touching or north of I-70. South County would be any municipality touching or south of Interstate 44. West St. Louis County, any municipality touching or west of the north-south sections of 270. And then Mid St. Louis County, any municipality generally between municipalities or Interstate 70, 44, and 270, mostly with proximity to Interstate 64. So you can check out some of those. I always wondered, because when I grew up in Maryland Heights, I was like, what is Maryland Heights considered? But if you look at this, some of the towns, I guess it makes sense. North St. Louis County, not limited to, but including Bill Fountain Neighbors, Berkeley, Blackjack, Bridgeton, Ferguson, Florissant, Hazelwood, Jennings, Old Jamestown, Pine Lawn, Spanish Lake, and St. Anne. South St. Louis County, Afton, Concord, Crestwood, Green Park, Lee May, Marlboro, Melville, Oakville, Sappington, and Sunset Hills. West St. Louis County, okay, Baldwin, Clarkson Valley, Chesterfield, Ellisville, Manchester, Twin Oaks, Wildwood, and Winchester. And then Mid St. Louis County, Brentwood, Clayton, Frontenac, Glendale, Huntley, Ladue, Maplewood, Olivet, Rock Hill, University City, and Warson Woods. So you look at where some of these areas are. I thought Southwest County is interesting. It could be considered Southwest County. Eureka, Fenton, and Pacific. West of 270, but they're also split by 44. So they could be considered Southwest County. And how about Kirkwood, Shrewsbury, and Webster Groves being considered South County? Because they're split by 44, but they may be associated as mid-county communities, and some might even consider them South County. I've never considered them South County, though. And I guess it's up to the viewer. It's up to each person. But this is another one because of Maryland Heights. And that's when I brought this up earlier with you, Producer Rye. I-270 cuts through the cities of Creve Coeur, De Pere, Maryland Heights, Town and Country. But it could leave you wondering, are they West County or Mid County? Maryland Heights even briefly touches I-70. So could it be considered in some places to be North County? And I never, ever, ever, ever would have thought of Maryland Heights being even considered to be North County. Thoughts from that standpoint? You can jump in on that and let us know. Just trying to have some fun from that standpoint. 7:53 is the time. It's a Monday. Let's have a great week when it comes to the work week. Of course, as always, you can let us know. Give us ideas for stories. If interviews, people that we should be talking to. We've got a lot of good things planned on the show. It's a new show as we continue to push forward all throughout the St. Louis area. Obviously, very early in the morning. trying to have fun, trying to make it light with you guys, and just focusing on things that are involved with the St. Louis metropolitan area, things that the station has decided to try to push forward with as well. Reminders, updates, things that we've talked about the day. You've got the Chiefs tonight, Monday Night Football, because it's a big week ahead. Chiefs Monday Night Football, Mizzou Saturday, which is going to be a really, really big deal as well. Then you've got the Blues on Thursday night. St. Louis City SC off for a while till October 18th. Lots of concerts going on this week as well. And then anything else that you guys want to talk about, we always get that out there for you. Don't forget Hot Take Central 2.0. That's coming up next with Cam Jansen, the former Blue, and Cardinals broadcaster Jim the Cat Hayes. I'm sure they'll have some Blues talk things that have happened over the weekend. And also earlier, I gave a shout out. I'd like to do it as well because it was a lot of sports today. But Lindenwood football, St. Louis's only Division I football team, and we love to promote Lindenwood. They had a big win. They beat up University of Tennessee Martin 30-14 on Saturday. So congrats to the Lindenwood Lions for getting that win going as they've continued to put that program as high as they can ever since they went full go Division I football. And you know what? Good for them. Good for them. You've also got and it's unfortunate, senators are set to meet, but that government shutdown is now entering the sixth day. And of course, that puts some people in the St. Louis area out of work. That means the Arch is not a situation that's available for people. But senators are returning to Capitol Hill today. They're expected to take some more votes to hopefully reopen the federal government, but there's still some uncertainty from that standpoint and what's going to occur. So we'll continue to cover that for you. Make sure you understand what's happening. We cover it all. We do cover it all. And by the way, we always say this. If you want, jump in on Facebook, X, and YouTube. We're still newer. Facebook, X, and YouTube. You can talk to us there. And anything that's going on, we'll get to. We'll talk to you guys. You guys can talk to others as well. Just let us know about certain things that are happening in your communities. Also, crews are on the scene this morning. There's a downed utility pole in the Brentwood area that was causing some traffic backup. It was a downed pole over there in the 2500 block of High School Drive. It's between Litzinger and Madge Avenue, right over in Brentwood. So Ameren was over there if you were wondering why some of your power might have been out and traffic was back up, but it's not known exactly how long those repairs will take this morning. But when you guys let us know about those updates, we certainly get that out there as we are a live show pushing this out. So guys, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it. For producer Rye, I'm Vic Faust. Hot Take Central 2.0 is coming up next. And then it's the MIZ STL show at 10 o'clock. As always, have a great day and stay positive.
Is your brand